welcome to Connect Live. I'm Dawn Peters. Today we have joining us Valerie Sumner of VRS Meetings and Events. Welcome, Valerie.
Thank you, Dawn. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you here today. First of all, I'd just like for you to find out exactly what VRS Events does and what types of services you offer.
Well, VRS is a business event strategy program and meeting consultancy, and we work very closely with our clients to produce, plan, and execute meetings, conferences, and events throughout the world. We really take a marketing approach, a business approach to what we do, and we enjoy what we're doing. We've been in business 12 years, and we have been really doing this for many more than that. But our firm is 12 years young.
Fantastic. Yes, absolutely. And so tell us a little bit about how you started it and why you started it.
We started our business, I think, in the industry. I can start there if you'd like me to do that.
Yes, absolutely.
We started in the industry when I graduated from college, which was many years ago. We don't want to go there. But started really when the meeting and event industry wasn't an industry. It wasn't a field. It was about marketing. It was about hotels. It was about putting together events. But it wasn't really a field of study. And at that time, when we started in the business, we started in the hotel industry. We grew from that. Then had spent some time as an event management firm with another firm, and was there for 25 years. After that particular time, we decided at that point to branch out and start our firm. My sister and I, who is my business partner,
right.
She had been with me in previous firms for several years, and we decided to start 12 years ago. We have since brought aboard Michelle Mobley, our director of marketing, and we have a staff and a group of 10 to 12 part-time wonderful people who we bring on board for their expertise to help us produce and plan these events based on what the clients need.
So what do you think your particular mission, or how do you stand yourself apart from other meeting and event planning companies?
I think the really niche for us is we're a boutique company. We are principal and planner owned, which is exciting.
Right.
I think the other piece that really makes us a little different is that we have the expertise to take a business approach to what we do, so that we have the marketing, the sponsorship, the communications piece that also integrates with the logistics, conference execution, look, production. So all together we can be a little bit of a resource, or we can be a large resource to our clients. Some clients only need a piece. Some clients love that we can do the whole picture.
Absolutely, and of course you've got the background and the expertise and the vast knowledge to bring to that, no matter what they need.
Yeah.
So I love that.
And we enjoy what we do. So.
And that's one of the main things as well, and I'm sure your clients see that. So you bring a more enjoyment factor.
We hope they see that.
Yes, absolutely, yes. So how do you think the industry is evolving?
Well, I think if you look at what we're doing, before we were considered planners or party planners or whatever you might want to put that little quote around, but I think what has really happened, and when you look at what the industry is and where it is, I mean, in the U.S. alone, this 1.8 million meetings and events are planned in a given year.
Wow.
The economic impact for taxes, state and local, is $28 billion. We affect over $280 billion of related sales and services. So that is a huge number.
Incredible, yes.
And that's about the business of meetings. That's about what we do with these meetings and events. What is their purpose? What are we doing this for? Why are we doing it? It's usually communicating a message, solving a problem, raising a problem, looking at an issue, trying to find out how to find a solution for something. So I think the evolution is really into that business sector and into the high-touch, high-tech piece of where we're going with the whole field.
Right. Have you seen over the years the reason that people do these types of events changing for business and suiting business as we move forward?
I think there was always the purpose of the event or the meeting, but I think now there's more to it. There is why are we doing this? How can we integrate this to touch more people? Access is so critical right now, because we have access, we have mobile access,
yes.
We have face-to-face access, which is what we're doing here. But I think the most important piece is connecting those and integrating those so that you have this seamless 365-day-a-year messaging going on with face-to-face, with digital, with the high-tech components. So I think that's what's really changing and evolving as well.
Absolutely. And there must be so many components to putting an event on. So what do you think for somebody in meeting events to be successful, some things essential strategies and tools they need in their toolbox?
I think the toolbox really is, as I talk to many planners coming into the field, or I work with planners that I work with every day, what we talk about as having a business approach. So not only are you a logistics expert, you have to understand a financial plan. You have to understand budgeting. You have to understand risk management. You have to understand security. You have to understand safety. You have to understand the content piece, how to build content. How does that content work within your meeting or your event? What is the experience? Experience marketing is huge, but the experience face-to-face piece is even bigger now. So how do you embody that with the attendees and the participants and make sure that that message is heard and seen and they're feeling it before they leave, or really think about the next time they're going to be at that event or going to participate in another event.
Right. Does it, with your clients, they almost have a variety of experience or for meetings and events. Does that help or hinder when you come in to help plan it?
Sometimes it's a great reference, it's not a hindrance. Sometimes the experience they have helps us to tweak what their knowledge is or maybe innovate. Right. Because that's, I think, a key piece for our firm as a boutique firm as well. How do we innovate? How do we change it up? What are some of the things happening that they might not know about? We're a consultant to them, so that helps them understand to see things a little bit differently. Not always does that a perfect fit, but I think that's very helpful. For the novice planner, for someone who doesn't have a fully integrated in-house meeting and event department, then we go in and we can bring all the facets to life for them.
Right. I mean, that must include a lot of education. You must educate your client.
Exactly. A lot of education, a lot of talk and discussion about, what does the environmental scan look like for this? What is this purpose? What is your competition? Why are you doing it this way? Should we be thinking about it this way? What are the data analytics around that?
Yeah.
What is the data telling us? Are people interested in this? Are they not? What is the research telling us? So there's so much more. It's almost like you have to wear many different hats to really end up with the final execution and implementation of the project.
And budget-wise, do you fit their budget, or do you give them the other elements that it could add in and they expand their budget, or does it just vary?
It varies. It varies. Most of the time, we come in and we help them set a budget. So we start with a strategic approach.
Right.
What is it we're doing? Why do we want to do it? How are we going to do this? So this is where we know our roadmap. Where are we going with it? Then, okay, how do we build the budget behind that to support that roadmap?
Right.
And then we tweak from there. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? What do we have to cut? What can we keep? How can we do it differently to achieve the same result? So that's important. And the financial forecast for the revenue piece, and also looking forward sponsorship. Will this sustain itself? Will there be another year for this? Will there be another 6 months for this? How does that look in the long term?
Right.
So when I think about working with VRS meetings and events, namely Valerie and Roberta Sumner, over the past 9 years, the key business event strategy that we seem to collaborate on is the personal attention that enables them to become a member of our team. We don't view them as contractors. We don't view them as a support team. They are viewed as team members because they focus on what makes us successful. They are constantly bringing in new ideas, new strategies, new opportunities for us to grow the meeting, and that is why over the years we have seen constant growth in our meetings. We have seen constant growth in attendance, in revenue. The ideas that they bring to the table are always, when we incorporate those, they allow us to be trendsetters. Many in the association industry that we reside, which is transportation, attend our show, and we see over and over again that they take the concepts that Valerie and Roberta present to us as ideas, and they incorporate those. And I guess you would consider that flattery when one keeps copying your ideas. It's been a very productive, very beneficial relationship. It has been a successful venture thus far.
Cindy, thank you so much for being with us today. I really appreciate it. Cindy and VRS has worked. We've been working together now for 7 years. thoroughly enjoyed this experience, and we've been able to work together as a partnership to really grow revenue, double the number of exhibitors that are participating, double the sponsorship revenue for the association. We've been able to really to take that strategic approach and work together to build attendance. And some of the things we've done really are by setting up exhibitor focus groups. We've set up a lot of surveying. We've done a lot of data analytics to make sure that we're focusing on what's important to the buyer, to the purchaser, and also focusing on what the trends are for the industry. Cindy's the content expert. Cindy knows the industry. We know the meeting and the implementation and the innovation to implement that content. So together, it's been a really a nice synergy to help the association grow their strategic plan, which they're looking at doubling their membership in the next 2 years.
Fantastic. Thank you. I hope that answers your question, Cindy. Thank you so much for calling in. So tell us, I think you have a lot of repeat clients because once they experience your expertise and your knowledge, they come back. Mm-hmm. How does that look? Is it just multiple events a year, or is it repeat clients for a number of years?
I think it depends on the client. Every customer is different, from public events that we do to association events, nonprofit events, to corporate events. Typically, association events are on an annual repeat basis. There's a conference that happens every year, but there are also other leadership elements that happen, different education components that happen, various different meetings that happen throughout the year. A corporation might be just a product launch 1 year. It could be a training seminar another year. So it really varies for the corporate segment. The public segment, usually they're one-time kind of events unless they're an annual sporting event. We work with a client here in DC, and we produce and work with them on an NCAA Division I basketball tournament every year, and that's their fundraising event, so that happens annually. It depends on the client, and the key thing, as I always say, is understanding that strategy, understanding that objective, and then building the meeting program around that, or the event program.
So if somebody was looking to use a meeting and event planning company, is there a size you won't start, a number of attendees you won't start? So what is the range that you work with?
Well, I think it's important for every customer to think about that when they're thinking about what type of event they would like to do. Size doesn't really, we've done 30,000, a public event for 30,000 attendees, and we've done very exclusive board meetings for 20 people.
Right.
So it's really around, again, I go back to the content, but the numbers, I think the expertise in understanding the numbers and how the logistics vary between a large event for 30,000 and a unique smaller event for 10 is key when you're working with a meeting and event manager, because that is going to support the execution piece of what you're doing with your programs.
Yes, absolutely. So are there any other sort of key elements that professional event planners need to be thinking about, not only now, but proactively for the future?
Yes, I think the toolbox is really critical. We work a lot with our graduates coming out of colleges and universities, and now we have a field of study. We have degree programs, and I think the one thing that I always talk together with all of those folks, and also the planners that we work with daily, is really it's being a thought leader. Thought leadership is so important in what we do. Thinking through what the content, thinking through what the future looks like, thinking through what that content is. How does that, always wondering where the next step is. Very entrepreneurial approach.
Right.
Conferences and events, very entrepreneurial. How are you going to communicate that message in a unique way that's not been done before? Everything has been done, as you probably can see and know,
right.
Through concerts and entertainment and just theater, all these different ways to communicate and stage and set an event. Those are the critical things that help really execute the event, but the most important thing is to understand what the message is so that you can execute it correctly.
Right. And get the message across.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
for one purpose it might not be the best. For a full scale production for 30,000 people, you might not be the same delivery as for a group of 20 or 30 in a
right.
small, intimate thought leadership kind of setting.
Yes.
So it just depends on how best to approach that. And when you hit that, when you connect that, then you see the real results from that, and you see the long-term commitment and the long-term
Absolutely.
knowledge.
Yeah, so, oh my
base.
God, you've got such a wealth of knowledge. I could sit in here and talk to you for hours. But perhaps if you can tell everybody how they best find you and get hold of you. If they'd like to work with you.
To get a hold of us and to reach out to us, it's very easy to visit our website at vrsevents.com, or simply call me as well. We'd love to have a chat. It's 202-373-4174.
And I'm sure that number will be up on the screen. Thank you so much for joining us today. Really enjoyed having you.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for joining Connect Live today. I'm Dawn Peters. If you want to be a guest on the show, please go to connectionhub.biz to the show tab.